I don't know if I like this background yet, but we're gonna go with it for right now. Hello, welcome back. Also not to flex, but I got AirPods, so now I can listen to music when I film, which means that maybe my thought process won't be as good because I'm not fully listening to myself, but it feels like it'll be a mood booster. I also am pretty sure I'm having an allergic reaction only on my left boob right now, so that's how my life has been going this week. I like these videos because it gives me an excuse to just like talk, but I also feel like it gives me like a purpose compared to like, I don't know, sometimes standing and talking just feels weird. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Okay, the last 2 days, I live in staff accommodation, so they're like these tiny little dorm rooms. Well, we're technically not working, like I'm laid off like the rest of the world right now. They're letting us stay here and they've like reduced our rent, so there's still a bunch of us here. There's probably like 20 of us. And I just mind my own business. A lot of people who live here don't have cars, so they're like literally stuck up here. But I have a car, so I like go and get my groceries. I do all my cooking in my room, so no one knows I live here. Like I went out to grab something from the freezer because the one thing that we don't have in our rooms are freezers. We just have fridges. So I went out to grab something from the freezer the other day, and the guy who works night audit was like, "You still live here?" And I was like, "Yes, I just hide in my room by myself." So there's people doing like daily duties every day, so they were like, "Oh, we'll reduce your rent even further if people are willing to like clean and stuff like that every day." But one of the person's duties is to go around and clean everyone's door handles, like to go and sanitize the outside of everyone's door handles. We're built like a motel, I guess, in the sense that like our doors are outside kind of. Where did I put my sponge? 2 days ago, I'd like gone out and grabbed something from the freezer in the main kitchen, and I have my door unlocked. Like I leave my door unlocked most of the time, and a lot of times it's propped open too, just because like it's hot in here all the time. And I heard someone knock on my door, and I was like, literally, who would be knocking on my door? I have no friends. No one in this building knows me. No one even knows I live here. Like, who'd be knocking on my door? When I didn't answer the door, because I also thought they were kind of knocking on someone beside mine's door, because we have really, really thin walls. So like I can hear the people's conversations beside me. So I just assume it's like someone fucking with my neighbors, because they actually like have friends. There's lots of like couples that live here. But when I didn't answer the door, they opened my door and were like, "Hello?" And I was like, "Hi?" And I was laying in bed, so I like hopped out of bed because I was like, "Don't come in my fucking room." And then when I stuck my head out, they ran away, so I didn't see who it was. And then yesterday I had my door propped open and the same thing happened. I was like, "Hi?" And this guy was like, "Oh, I didn't know someone lived here." And I was like, why wouldn't I live here? He did the thing that like, I don't know if the guy was just strange or if this is like this happened to me because I'm a girl thing, but one, he like aggressively peered into my room, which makes me really uncomfortable because like, not to go into like a lot of detail, but my one like bizarre anxiety trait is like I hate when people like touch my things and are in my things, which is why thank the Lord I don't have a roommate here. So I was already like creeped out that he was like peering in my room. And then he kept on asking like small talks, like the make and model of my car, and I was like, why? So that's how my last 2 days are going, and now I constantly have my door locked because I really don't want to talk to this man who lives in my building and keeps on trying to make weird small talk with me. And I know people might be like, he's just trying to be friendly, but like, this is gonna make me sound like a bitch, but like, I don't want to be friends with like a random person that I've never met, that doesn't work in my department, who I have nothing in common with, and is being weird. So, really long story short, that's why I was checking that my door was locked. But besides that, I just wanted to talk to y'all now that very long story is over. Obviously, my trip is canceled, and I am sad. The day that I'm filming this is May 1st, and I would have flown out last night from Kelowna. No, I would have flown out yesterday morning and landed around like 11, I think, in LA. But unfortunately, I am still in Canada because the world is falling apart. And I was so sad because today we would have been getting up early and going to Disneyland and riding Ride of the Resistance today for the first time, and I've been looking forward to that literally since they announced Rise, like when I still worked for Disney. And they were talking about announcing rides. Like, I was excited to ride rides. So I'm sad about that. My plans for today is we were gonna do Plaza Inn with Minnie and Friends, which is like probably my favorite character dining at Disneyland because it has the best array of characters. It always has Minnie, it usually has the Chipmunks, it usually has Pooh and Captain Hook. Rafiki's been there every time that I've been there. And then you'll get a bunch of like randoms, like Tigger's there sometimes. I think I've seen the ducks there maybe. But it's a bunch of fur characters. So I got a nice little reminder on my phone today that made me really sad. Right now it says reservation at Lamplight Lounge tomorrow at 3:15. And I don't want to talk about it because I'm sad. So obviously my trip was canceled and we have no idea what's going on. I'm lucky for the fact that we did get almost everything back. Disney originally was trying to extend just ticket expiration dates because originally the tickets expired December 31st of this year. They were like 2012 tickets. And then they tried to extend them to be until next May. But I emailed and I was like, hi, I literally have no job and the world is shut down, so I could really use my $900 return, because that's what it was. So I got my ticket return a couple weeks ago, and then I got my hotel return probably about a week ago too, and that was like $800, and I got all of that back, which is nice. The only thing I didn't get back was my flights. So I now have a $420 something flight credit with Air Canada, and I have 2 years to use it. So if anyone has places they recommend that I go that Air Canada flies to, let me know, because I don't know what I'm gonna do. The problem is, like, part of me wants to be like, oh, I could go somewhere fun with that, you know, because it's like, it's not free money because obviously I paid for it, but I paid for it back in like February, March. So at this point, it doesn't exist to me. I've already paid off that credit card bill like months ago. So part of me wants to go somewhere fun, but Air Canada only flies so many places, and I also don't want to end up spending like a shit ton of money because the flight credit is obviously only for $400 and I need to use it through Expedia. So in reality, I'll probably try and go to Disneyland next year, as long as I'm like still living in Kelowna and nothing changes. I know Nicole, whose birthday it was last week, so happy belated birthday, Nicole. She hasn't been to Disneyland in a couple years. Our first trip was my 21st birthday. It was either my 21st or her 20th, because all of our Snapchat memories from 4 years ago today are us at Disneyland, which, like, I'll throw something up here. Like, look at little babies we were so young. So she can't travel like anytime soon really because she's immune compromised, but in like a year and a half or whatever, or in a year for her birthday next year, if everything opens up and they do the Canadian resident discount again and we can get tickets for a good deal, we're thinking about maybe next April would be fun to go. If I can find it, I'll link this vlog that I literally forgot existed until my friend Nicole brought it up. But I drove down to Vancouver last April for her birthday and we did like a whole photo shoot, and I have a vlog of that. But you guys have seen Nicole before. My friend Mariah, who you have not seen but should go follow because she's like one of the better looking people I've ever seen in my life. I don't know, she's just so cute. Like, I love her and she's so nice. But I work with her like where I work now and where we're going back to work. She was like, let's go to California. So I have a feeling in the next year, 2 years before this flight credit expires, I will be able to use it to go somewhere. I also do want to go back to Orlando. If I have friends there that could get me comp tickets, I would appreciate you. But I do want to go back to Orlando at some point too, so that's on the table as well. But obviously the problem with that is that costs way more money. So the flights will probably be closer to like $700 or $800 if I try to go to Orlando compared to California, which is like $400. Anyways, that's a lot of talking for me to say my trip is canceled, and that's kind of how the plans worked, and I don't really know what's going on past that. Obviously we're just kind of playing it day by day at this point. I know in the States things are opening up, which scares the hell out of me. Also why I think like Canadians as a whole are, not saying we're making fun of America, but I'm saying that we're avoiding America for right now. For us here, we haven't opened things up yet. They want to open provincial parks, I think it was, and like open spaces in Manitoba and Alberta and Saskatchewan, I think, in the next couple of weeks, and then reopen things like elective surgeries after that. But hospitality, where I work, is kind of at the bottom of the list. I was talking to my mom about this too, where I like where I work because it's really like pretty like we're gorgeous and we're in the middle of nowhere and we're like close to a provincial park and all this stuff. But the thing that sucks about that is that we're super not essential. Like, you can, once things start to open up, you can justify opening like Marriott's and like Hilton's and things like that because they're like business hotels. We're not. We're nowhere near the airport. We're nowhere near businesses. We're literally in the middle of nowhere. We're spa based, so if they say you can open hotels but you can't open spas or restaurant, there's no use in us being open because we're a spa in the middle of nowhere. But the only thing that sucks about us being like a relaxation based hotel is that we're gonna be the last to open because we have nothing to offer. Like, we're essentially just a tourist destination because it's not like business people or anything use us. I'm using this palette that I literally have had for a year plus and have not touched. Look how pretty she is. Why have I not touched it? I don't know. Obviously, like I said before, I didn't talk about this earlier because it wasn't really like not my story to tell, but I feel like the wound was still very fresh like 2 weeks ago when all of the programs got canceled. So for some reason you don't spend any time on the internet and you haven't seen this. Disney did cancel like all of their programs. They said till early June because obviously Disney hasn't like put out a statement, but they are halting like reservations and things like that until June 1st. So we're assuming that Disney wants to reopen June 1st, and things in Florida are starting to open, so that kind of falls along those lines. But it means they canceled the Fall Advantage program, which sucks. I had 2 friends that were so excited. One of my friends was accepted as an attendant and then went to an audition, then got accepted as a performer, and she's been looking forward to this, and she did her first program like same time as me, so 2018, like 2 years, and her program got canceled. And another friend of mine got accepted in children's activities, which is another role that's like kind of weird and hard to get, and hers got canceled, so that sucks too. So I feel really bad for all of the Fall Advantage people. Obviously they canceled all of the ICPs as well, so I think Canada and Mexico were the first arrivals. They were supposed to be arriving on the 11th, so in about a week and a half. They got canceled. UK was really late, like June 15th was their arrival, and they got told like a couple days after Canada that theirs was canceled. I don't know anyone from any other countries, I'm so sorry. I'm assuming like all of the other countries were canceled as well because they all have similar arrival dates. If you guys don't know, even though I wasn't going back this year, I'm still an admin, probably the more active admin because Jamie's the other admin and she just kind of minds her business and watches everyone. But I'm an admin for the Canadian Facebook group. So I watched this all go down and I feel terrible for them. I've like answered questions for these people since like last September. So I feel emotionally invested in a lot of them, and I feel like I've like watched them go through like the whole interview process and application process, and it just makes me sad, you know? It's kind of all up in the air of what's gonna happen in the future, which makes it even harder to think about. And I'm nervous because I think this is gonna be a controversial opinion. Disney's great, don't get me wrong. I love the company. I want to go work for the company again at some point. At the end of the day, Walt Disney World alone has over 70,000 employees, which is hard. Like, and that's part of the reason why I like my job now, is because I think there's under 300 of us where I work now, which is great because like our CEO and our general manager and our like operations manager, like they know me by name because there's not that many people, and essentially I'm like 3, 4, I'm like 6th up in our like whole list of employees, even being like the lowest level of management. And like I work directly with our executive chef and all of our managers, like everyone knows me, which is nice. Where at Disney you could be a leader and even Josh has no idea who you are, you know? And I can't blame them for that because there's nothing they can do for that. That's just how huge corporations work. But it also means that like you're essentially just a number to them. Especially if you're a college program student where you're like not a real person, you're not in the union and you don't really have any rights. It sucks because it means when things like this happen, they just don't really care. And I feel bad because I think a lot of ICPs and college program kids are dealing with this by thinking like, oh, I'm gonna apply for spring 2021, or I'm gonna apply for the cultural exchange program next year. And that thought process is like, well, I'm gonna get in because I got in before, or I'm gonna get in with the same role because I got in before. And at the end of the day, Disney doesn't necessarily care about that, which sucks. So I don't think it's a good thing, but I think it's just the reality of Disney, unfortunately, where when there's that many people, they're gonna put their, I don't know how to word this without sounding like an asshole. Their first priority is gonna be people that they feel obligated to help. So you're gonna have the people in the union, you're gonna have your full-timers, your part-timers, then your seasonals / like PIs, and then you're gonna have your college program and your ICP participants. So I don't think with the application process, especially when you see how many people apply, like the ICP probably only takes like 250, 300 people a summer, and they've even said like you get thousands of applicants every year. So seeing how few people actually get through and how many people apply, I don't think the system that they use is capable of making a billion notes for everyone and being like, this person had this role and this person did this role. Like, they don't know who I am. When I apply and I interview with the company, whether it be with Parks or somewhere else, they ask me about my experience based on my resume. They don't have a note saying, you know, Lauren worked at Typhoon and then Lauren worked at Magic Kingdom. They'll flag you if you have a costuming piece missing or something like that, but they don't actually know who you are as a person, if that makes sense. I don't know if they physically would be able to, you know, keep track of what everyone's role was for everything they were accepted in for canceled programs. And I also think Disney is going to make the choice that is quote unquote best for the company, meaning if you were accepted and then someone who didn't apply last year but applied this year, who has, you know, way more credentials and has worked in a theme park and has, you know, a degree in early childhood education, like, at what point is Disney gonna pick someone who's more qualified even if they haven't been chosen before, you know what I mean? Which again, isn't fair, but I think it gets to a point where they don't necessarily care what's fair and what's not fair. It's just what's gonna be, you know, the best choice for the business, which screws people over. And we saw this happen this year. We obviously don't know like what Disney's algorithm is and how many programs they want people to do, but even this year with the ICPs, like there was a billion people who didn't even get interviews that were 2, 3, 4-time alumni with perfect records and no costuming pieces missing and things like that. And it's just, I think there's just not a lot of communication between the departments all the time, which again, I can't blame them. You have 70,000 employees just in one park. So I feel like people are gonna be really mad at me for saying all that. I think I'm gonna try and put lashes on, but I'm gonna do this off camera because there's absolutely no way that this is gonna go smoothly, because the girl has not put lashes on my face in like Christmas. So I'll be back. That was an experience. These lashes are like 75 years old. Like I've literally had them since probably 2017. They're so old, and I've worn them a billion times, and they're definitely, they should be thrown out, but I'm poor. So should I line my lips? That's too much work. I don't even remember what I was saying before I stopped this, and now my camera's dying. I'm going to end it all. My sincerest apologies. We took a little break because my camera died. Actually, by little break, I mean like 2 hours. I took that 2-hour break because I filmed something for one of my friends and coworkers from this last summer for a TikTok that she's doing, and I'm way too old to be on TikTok, don't get me wrong, way too old, but I'm on it. So I filmed TikToks. I don't really know the point of this video today, but I just wanted to talk. It's been a hot minute since I've just sat and talked. And these videos usually get like fun conversation. Like people will comment like how they feel about like park closures and like program cancellations, things like that. At this point, obviously we don't really know what's going on. I think it's pretty clear that Disney wants to open on June 1st, but we don't know if that's actually gonna happen. But I think these next like 2 weeks will be really vital because obviously Florida's opening stuff up now. So we shall see. This is what I look like. This is me trying to get myself to not look like I only wear pajamas for the first time in like a month, because honestly that's like all I've been wearing, and I've been wearing no makeup. I mean, I'm essentially in pajamas right now, but we're not going to talk about that. So yeah, that's it. That's all. That's the whole video today. If you have any like thoughts about when parks are opening or what'll happen with the fall program, I would love to hear your opinions on that. If you have any like questions or other things you want to see from me, let me know. I'm still unemployed. We're not opening until at least May 15th now, and on the 7th they said they would give us an update. We're kind of just going week to week now, so I'm still not working, so I have nothing else to do. But yeah, if there's anything else you want to see, let me know. Feel free to hit me up anywhere else. Instagram, Twitter. Like I said, apparently I'm on TikTok now. I don't want to talk about how my username is CelebtationRad. My username is CelebtationRad on TikTok, so yeah, I'm gonna go. But I'll see you guys in a couple days, and please subscribe and join my family. There's almost 5,000 people, which is wild. I don't know what I'll do with 5,000, but like maybe I'll give something away at 5,000. No promises, because I don't know what I'll give away, because I'm not going to a park anytime soon, but I'll think about it. And I'll see you guys in a couple days. Bye.